What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Chris, aka The Capital Connect, and in today's video, we're going to be going over break of the candle versus aggressive entries. Now, this is a question I get a lot in my comments, so stay plugged in, man. This is going to be a good one. So while we're waiting on this setup, man, I feel like this is the perfect time to go over why I prefer getting in aggressive versus break of the candle, right? So a lot of you guys that watch my videos, right, you watch other people that trade supply and demand, and there's really only two ways that a lot of people trade supply and demand, right? It's either going to be you wait on the break of the candle, right, or you just enter aggressive at the zone. Now, why do I enter aggressive at the zone? Because I didn't used to always enter aggressive. So as most of y'all know, I learned from Doyle Exchange, okay? And the way he teaches it is that you wait on the break of the candle right before you enter the trade. And I did that for, months, right? Now, the reason that I switched was that I found, man, in back testing and through experience, right, doing that daily, that a lot of the times, bro, waiting on the break of the candle, sometimes it'll cause you to have a bigger stop loss, right, than you wanted to have. Like, let's just say, you had a zone that was 5 pips, right? And you're waiting on the break of the candle. Like, a lot of the times, bro, you would see like your stop loss would turn, instead of being a 5 pip, if you get in aggressive, right, it will turn into a, 7 pip, 8 pip, sometimes 10 pip plus, waiting on the break of the candle, right? And if you didn't want it to turn into like such a huge stop loss, right, it would force you to get in aggressive anyway. And so I was like, bro, in my mind, right, it just makes more sense to, have other confirmations that you use and just get in aggressive every time for the most part, right? Now, do I get in aggressive 100% of the time? No, I don't, right? Sometimes there are situations in which I would wait for the break of the candle, right? Now, I will go over that in another video, but it just made more sense to me in my mind to get in aggressive more times than not, because the reward to me outweighs the risk, right? So if I get in on a zone that has on a 3 pip zone, right, and I lose, okay, like whatever, right? Like, I'm okay with losing, getting in aggressive, right? I'm okay with the decisions that I make when I'm trading, right? So if I get into a trade and it loses instantly, right, or it ends up being a loser because a candle never broke, I can live with that. I'm okay with that, because a lot of the times, bro, well, not a lot of times, but you will see often, like, even when you wait for the break of the candle, right, like a trade will still lose. And then, so instead of losing, 4 pips, right, or 3 pips, right, waiting on the break of the candle, you're losing 8 pips, 7 pips, right, 10 pips, right? And it's like, bro, no, like, especially like when you're not as good at cutting your losses, right? Like, nah, bro. Nah, matter of fact, I don't even believe in cutting your losses a lot of the time, right? Like, y'all see my videos, bro. I feel like that's regarding the clouds, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Day Trading Secrets from the Bible, part 1. But nah, bro. And by the way, man, let me just say this. Just because I get in aggressive, just because I say I feel like it makes more sense to get into trades aggressive, that doesn't mean that I'm saying Doyle is wrong. That doesn't mean I'm saying I'm right. I'm saying he's right for him, I'm right for me, right? So as a trader, guys, you should never just do something because someone else told you to do it. Like, you should always, figure things out for yourself. And what I mean by that is, right, it's good to have a mentor, right? It's good to, listen to your mentor and do what your mentor says, but you also have to do your own back testing. You also have to do your own studying, right? And start figuring out what works best for you. And that's with any strategy, right? Like, even what I teach on YouTube, right? You got to figure out what makes sense for you. Don't do things just because I said to do it. And don't do things just because you see someone else saying, you should do it this way. Like, there is no right way to trade when it comes to trading, bro. There is no right way. There's only your way, right? Because if it makes you money, who cares how you trade? I don't care if you draw a random line on a chart and you just trade off that random line. If that makes you money, bro, keep doing what you're doing, Don't switch. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro. So you got to figure out what works for you, man. And I encourage all of you guys to do that. Like, my word is not gospel. My word is not law. Like, what I do may be completely different from what you do. And that's okay, right? Like, I'm still trying to figure myself out as a trader. So, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, it's fluid, bro. It's fluid. Like, I may be like, nah, I get in aggressive 90% of the time right now. And 6 months from now, I may be like, nah, I'll wait on that break of the candle. So it really just depends, man. But as of right now, I feel like it makes more sense to get in aggressive than it does to wait on the break of the candle. So do your own research, man. Do your own back testing. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to anyone on YouTube. Figure it out for yourself. Figure out what makes more sense to you. What I will say is this: you will take more losses getting in aggressive than you would waiting on the break of the candle, right? I will say the break of the candle is sometimes a good saver for you, but I'm okay with taking more losses, right? Because waiting on the break of the candle, your win rate will go up, right? But your risk reward will go down. Getting in aggressive, your win rate will go down, but your risk reward will go up. So I feel like they both just kind of balance themselves out. So it really doesn't matter. Like I said, do your own research, figure things out for yourself, figure out what makes more sense to you and trade it that way. And don't be afraid of pivoting and doing something different, like if you get new information. So that's why I get in aggressive more than, I wait on the break of the candle. I don't always get in aggressive, but I do like to get in aggressive more times than not. And that's just because it works better for me, for my trading psychology when I'm in a trade, all of that. So now that we got that out the way, man, let's see what the market gives us today, man. It is currently Monday, November 13th, 4:25 a.m., bro. So let's see what we can get in this London session. All right, so we got a demand on GU. I'm trying to wait a little bit because one of my confluences, the DXY, is not looking amazing right now. Like, it's deep into that supply I was lining up with on this demand. So y'all remember how at the beginning of the video I said I don't always enter aggressive, right? And this might be a situation where I'm not entering aggressive simply because one of the confluences I was using for this trade is not doing what I wanted it to do, right? So when it comes to me entering aggressive, right, that plays a factor, right? Like, what are my confluences doing, right? Or are my confluences still intact, right? So if the DXY would have just rejected at the zone, I would have been okay with this, with just entering aggressive. But since the DXY has decided to push like into the zone, like very deep into the zone, and matter of fact, even break a little bit of structure in the zone, right? Like, it's making me be like, give me a second, let me check and see if I want to get in aggressive or not. So I'm liking what I'm seeing right now currently from GU. It is respecting the zone. So we're gonna see if this holds up. If it does, I may enter aggressive, or in this particular case, I may just wait for the break of the candle. I guess it's actually kind of good that that's happening like this, because you guys are seeing my thought process through like entering aggressive versus entering at the break of the candle. I rather enter aggressive, right? I enter aggressive most of the time, but like I said, there are instances in which I do not enter aggressive, right? And this is one of those instances where my confluences really just didn't do what I wanted them to do. So I just got to be a little bit more careful. But all right, we in. Let's see what we get, man. We're gonna see what this trade does. TP, like I always say, the recent high. So we're gonna be targeting that. We're gonna see if we can get us a nice little dub to start the week. Okay, so you do got a fair value gap here. So basic market structure, knowledge, right? If we are bullish, then we should be expecting for bullish things to be holding. So I would then expect for this to come back, tap that fair value gap, right? Then continue higher, right? Because if we're bullish, that's what we should be seeing. So let's see, man. you got to be able to hold it, man. Like old me, right? Like the old me is still in there, bro. Like it's still screaming at me to close while you're up, close while you're up, close while you're up. And it's like, no, bro. No, man, we not closing, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about, you know, myself and y'all that watch me on YouTube, bro. We done doing that closing, you know, just when you up a little bit. Like, nah, bro. I talked about that in my last video. In my last day trading secrets from the Bible video, I think I talked about that, like where, you know, you get that urge to want to close when you're up. But it's like, no, bro, you'll never be consistently profitable doing that. Like, you gotta let your trades hit TP. You gotta let your trades hit TP. If they're not hitting TP, you're not getting out, bro. Like, you will never be consistently profitable closing trades early because you're afraid of losing, bro. It'll never happen. Trust your analysis, trust yourself, have confidence in yourself, and let your trades do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we would all love for our trades to just immediately go to TP, but unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. So right now, we're still looking good. Like I said, once we, you know, break these highs over here to the left where this black line is, my stop loss will at that point go to break even, make it a risk-free trade, and you know what I'm saying, or maybe not completely break even, maybe just like underneath this fair value gap candle, just to give it a chance to hold, you know, on that fair value gap. So I'm not gonna have it underneath the whole sequence, but right now, man, we're looking decent, bro. We're looking decent, man. Once we hit that black line, stop loss, break even, right? And I ain't talking about the spread, I'm talking about, you know, actual price, or I should say semi break even. All right, so we just hit that black line. My stop loss at this point is going underneath the fair value gap candle. All right, kind of lower our risk just ever so slightly. And we're gonna let this trade play out, bro. Hopefully we get a nice little TP hit on this live trading video. And yeah, man, it's looking good though. I like this. And the DXY is finally falling. Like I said, bro, like I'm really just like y'all. Like I be in these trades, man. Like when I'm up like this, I'm like, bro, come on, let me just go ahead and close. But it's like, nah, bro. You gotta see it through, my boy. You gotta see it through, man. Gotta see the trade through. Just move up that extra little bit, bro. Get us out of here so we can end this live trading video, man. You literally right there, bro. It's about to get us out. Almost. Come on, GU. Let the trade hit your TP, man. It's right there, though. Part of me like, just get out, bro. Just close. But what builds confidence is letting your trades hit TP, bro. We right there, man. Literally right there. You see how the market be playing, bro? Like, just get me out the trade, bro. Oh, it didn't get me out, bro. Hang on. Did it sweep it on Trading View? Let me see. It didn't. All right. Trading View TP has not been hit, bro. So we gonna continue to hold this. Bro, your brokers be playing around. You see what I'm saying? Brokers be playing. They don't want you to hit TP. Your brokers don't want you to hit TP, man. Come on, bro. There we go. All right, man. All right, so this is a good video, man. I'm so happy that this played out like this, not just because of the win, but because, you know, how the trade was playing out. I wanted you guys to really see my thought process behind me getting in aggressive versus getting in, you know, at the break of the candle. So I started off this video telling you guys that I'd rather get in aggressive 90% of the time, right? However, in this video, you saw I didn't do that. And the reason for it was because if we go to the DXY, right, we go to the DXY, and right, originally I was looking at this supply right here on the 15-minute chart, right? And I said what I wanted to see was I wanted to see some rejection, right? We got a little bit, right? But then we started pushing deep into this zone. I was like, oh man, this supply might not hold, right? And at this point, you guys remember me talking about, as we were like, at the zone on GU, I was like, I don't know, man. I might not want to get in aggressive on this because it looks like one of my confluences may not hold, right? And so that is what caused me to not get in aggressive, right? And wait on the break of the candle. So when I'm getting in aggressive, man, I really want the stars to align, bro. Like I want all of my confluences to still hold up, right? Especially if I'm using the DXY as a confluence, right? I need that to hold up. If the DXY is acting a little funny, like it did, on this particular trade, that is what's going to make me hold off on getting in aggressive, right? The DXY is not always a confluence, right? But when it is a confluence for me, I need it to do what it's supposed to do, right? And it just took a little bit longer for the DXY to do what it was supposed to do. So let's get into this trade breakdown, man, because I am happy that this trade worked out the way it did. So obviously we got a clear demand here. Break of structure happened right here, right? We broke that high. Gap attached to our zone, right? We even had like a little low right here. So this is a low on a lower time frame, right? So somebody got stopped out right there. Liquidity right before our zone, even more confluence, right? If you don't understand liquidity, go watch my last video I did, liquidity 101. So someone got stopped out, right? We had a sweep of liquidity right before our demand zone, right? So that's just beautiful. That's even more confluence to get into the trade. Then if we go to the higher time frames, we can see that GU, if we look to the left here, let me turn these MAs off. Right, if we look to the left here, right, we had a demand on the 1 hour that it was bouncing away from, and then on the 4 hour, right, that same demand zone was there, just a little bit bigger zone, right? So we had confluence with the higher time frame, a demand on the 5-minute chart, right? The MAs was with us, right? What did I tell you guys in the previous video? I'm going with the trend, I did 200 with me, right? We had the 200 with us. We had liquidity that was right above our zone, so they got stopped out right before price got to our zone, which is another beautiful thing. So all in all, man, this trade was great, bro. It was beautiful. It didn't take too long to get hit. And yeah, bro, we starting off this week with I think it was like 105. So starting off this week with a $105 win. That's a beautiful way to start the week. So I hope you guys got value from this video, man. I hope you guys learned something new, or maybe, just got a little bit better understanding, of my thought process when I am looking to enter a trade or when I am in a trade. And hopefully I answered the question that a lot of you guys have on why I enter aggressive, as much as I do. And you got a little bit of insight on why I don't always enter aggressive and my thought process, behind entering aggressive versus entering on the break of the candle. So as always, man, any questions you guys have, drop them in the comments. I appreciate all the love and support y'all have been showing, bro. Y'all have really got me at like 700 something subscribers, bro. Like, I want y'all to really understand, at the beginning of October, bro, I was at 30 something, like 32, I think. And so to now be at 760 something, like, it's crazy to me, bro. So shout out to you guys, man. I'm gone.